So today, we're diving into a brand new tool that could seriously change how AI applications get their information from the internet. We're talking about the new Perplexity Search API. And that really brings up a huge question, doesn't it? We all think of the internet as this massive collective brain for all of humanity. So why has it been so incredibly hard for developers to build AIs that can actually tap into it and, understand what they're reading? Well, the problem is, for a long, long time, the internet has basically been a giant library, but with no librarian. You had the legacy search companies keeping all their good stuff for themselves. Then you had other companies try to step in, but honestly, the quality just wasn't good enough for the kind of AI world we're building now. Developers have been banging on the door, asking for the key to this library, and it's always been just out of reach. To put it another way, imagine you ask for one specific fact, just one, and someone hands you a 500-page textbook and says it's in there somewhere. That's pretty much what traditional search APIs have been doing. They just dump entire documents. For an AI that's supposed to be quick and precise, that's just wildly inefficient. It leaves all the hard work to the developer to sift through everything to find that one golden nugget of information, because this is what modern AI actually needs. It doesn't need the whole book. It needs that one single perfect sentence that has all the right context. Or maybe just a few key snippets. It needs information that's targeted, precise, and ready to go like right now. And that's the gap that's been waiting to be filled. And this is exactly where Perplexity's big announcement comes in. They've been hearing the calls from their developer community, and they believe they've built the answer: the Perplexity Search API. It's designed specifically to finally unlock the internet for all those AI applications. So what is it exactly? Well, an API is basically a doorway that lets two different pieces of software talk to each other. But here's the key thing Perplexity is stressing. This isn't some watered-down, light version. They're giving developers direct access to the exact same powerful engine that runs their own public website. And the scale we're talking about here is just staggering. Their index covers hundreds of billions of web pages. Just think about that. A huge chunk of the internet's knowledge is now, in theory, available to any developer through this single pipeline. But here's the thing. Perplexity argues it's not just about the sheer size. They're saying this API was built from the ground up, totally reimagined for this new age of AI. So let's take a look at how it's different. This quote from the Perplexity team really seems to be their guiding principle, their North Star. The whole idea is that for an AI to be useful, to be accurate, it can't just have a bunch of random data. It needs the right data with the right context. And this really shows you the difference in their approach. The old way was to hand over a whole document and make the developer do all the hard work. Perplexity's way is to break those documents down into tiny, fine-grained snippets, score each one for relevance, and then only send back the absolute best ones. The goal? Way less work for developers and much, much faster results. And there's another massive problem this API is designed to solve: out-of-date information. As Perplexity puts it, information staleness is one of the top reasons AI agents just completely fail. I mean, if your AI is working with old news, its answers are gonna be wrong. It's as simple as that. So how do they keep everything fresh? Well, they describe this kind of three-step process. First, their system is just constantly chugging along, processing tens of thousands of updates every single second. Second, they have an AI that's built to parse the messy, chaotic open web in real time. And third, and this is the really cool part, that system is constantly improving itself, learning and getting smarter over time. Okay, so the philosophy behind it sounds great, right? But what about the actual results? Let's dig into how Perplexity says their API stacks up when it comes to performance, price, and, well, proof. Perplexity is positioning their API as the market leader in both how relevant its results are and how fast it delivers them. And to back that up, they've done something pretty cool. They released an open source evaluation tool called Search Evils. This means literally anyone can go and test their API against the competition and see the results for themselves. That's a serious commitment to transparency. So what they're claiming here is like they've hit this sweet spot. It's what economists call the Pareto frontier, where you get the best of all worlds. They're arguing that they're offering top-of-the-market quality with super low latency, all at a lower cost than their competitors. And for anyone building software, hitting that perfect balance of high performance and low cost is the absolute dream. And beyond just the raw power, they say they've really focused on the whole developer experience. They've launched a new platform, a new console, and even a special toolkit to make building stuff way faster. They say their own engineers were able to build impressive prototypes in less than an hour. And maybe the best part is, if you build on their API, you automatically get all their future improvements without lifting a finger. So let's zoom out for a second and just look at the bigger picture, because this isn't just about launching another product. This seems to be about the next chapter in a much, much bigger mission. You can really see the journey here. Perplexity started out with its answer engine built for everyday curious users. Now, with this API, they're taking what feels like the next logical step, putting that exact same power directly into the hands of the people who build things. And that's really the heart of this whole announcement. It's all about empowerment. It's about giving the world's millions of developers, from a person working alone in their garage to a huge company, the tools they need to create the next wave of amazing apps with the full power of the internet right at their fingertips. So that leaves us with one final and pretty exciting question. Remember that locked library we talked about? Well, Perplexity claims they've just handed over the key. Now that the doors are finally open, what incredible new worlds are developers going to build?